Hey everybody, this is Killer Arcade Games. I'm Chris, and today I'm going to be playing San Francisco Rush the Rock for Gameplay Monday. Mondays typically suck, so my plan is always to play some games or play a game with you and just talk about whatever's going on in my life, distract you from a potentially bad Monday. Hopefully it works, hopefully it brightens your day, or at the very least, pulls your attention away from, oh crap, it's Monday. So, I'm going to say in advance, I'm only going to probably race maybe 3 or 4 tracks on this, so this video isn't ridiculously long. If you guys really want to see the other 3 tracks, then I'll maybe do it again on a future one. Let me know in the comments. One other thing to apologize about ahead of time is my voice. I'm going to be clearing my throat a lot probably. It's Sunday. I'm recording this right before Monday, and I just recorded a really long video where it took me probably 45 minutes of talking. So my voice is already kind of crappy. Let's see if I can knock out another 30 minutes of chatting with you guys right here. So I think I'm going to do track 1, 2, 3, and The Rock today. The other ones are fun, but they're not really my favorite. In case you're wondering, this is a genuine, real San Francisco Rush arcade cabinet. It was originally a Rush that has the upgrade kit to make it a Rush the Rock. I'm going to play with manual transmission, something I started doing, I guess, when I bought the machine. I never liked taking that chance when I was putting money in the machine, but now that I own it, I can just take chances like that, and if I'm doing terrible, who cares? I'm not paying any money to play anymore. Well, guys, it's been busy lately, like I've probably said on the last 10 Gameplay Mondays, but finally I think I've finished my last major project to do. I've had a list of them going on my phone since probably December, and I've finally started tackling them. Should not have waited this long. We've been very, very busy. Spending a lot of money trying to fix up stuff around the house, lawn stuff, landscaping stuff. I've become very handy over the past few weeks, that's for sure. Lady Cag's been helping a lot, and yeah, I did my final thing I had to do yesterday, which was change the oil and spark plugs and oil filter, oh god, in my Sea-Doos to get ready for summer. Summer is gonna be rough though because the lake is very low, so we'll see if we can even get out there much. It's too crowded anyway. It's very disappointing. I hope we get a lot of rain, but we've been getting rain lately, and it doesn't seem to make hardly any difference to the lake. It just is 12 feet low, and if it goes up, it goes right back down really quickly. Oh, I'm about to lose first place. Yep. But, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. They say the weather pattern's probably going to change. I think we're in La Nina now or something, and El Nino is coming, and that's when it's usually wetter. So from what I've noticed from observing the weather around here for the last couple decades is it's either dry as could be for a couple years, and that's what we've been in for sure, or we're flooding every spring and fall. I'm the weird guy who hopes for a flood, because I would like the lake to rise. Oh, you turd. Wow, I can't believe I pulled that. Oh, I haven't pulled out yet. I haven't pulled out of it yet. All right, there we go. I'm back. I'm still in first. I'm shifting. It's Fast and the Furious time over here. I shifted too soon to fourth. Oh well. Let's go. Get back up there. But yeah, I'm the weird guy who hopes for a flood because I'd like to fill the lake up and all that. I mean, I don't want people's houses to get destroyed or mine. I'm on a hill, so I don't have to worry about that. Anyway. But yeah, that was my last big thing I had to do, and I finished it yesterday in the driveway. I would have done it sooner, but the shop I used to take it to that would charge me $300 a jet ski to do that, I guess they stripped the head on one of the oil filter caps. They did this last time too. So now that I'm in charge of doing them, I know not to strip the head out. It was very frustrating. So, had to order a new $50 screw, by the way. I was very unhappy about that. $50 for a hex screw about that long. Ridiculous. Let's play again. But we've been having some fun too. I guess last Tuesday night we went to Joe Rogan's new comedy club in Austin, the Comedy Mothership. It was actually, I mean, I knew it was going to be fun because I love a good live comedy show. I've only seen a few in my life, but now that Austin's blowing up with the comedy shows, we have been to one before that. We went and saw the Are You Garbage podcast live. It's not really the podcast in that case, it was just them doing stand-up and did a little Are You Garbage fun. But we went and saw that a couple weeks before, and after that, Lady Cag and I had so much fun. She was like, well, we should probably do that more, and I finally saw an opening to get tickets for a Comedy Mothership, so I said, let's do it. and scored a couple tickets to Joe Rogan and Friends. And I was excited about that because people just pop in randomly there, you know, now that it's so popular all of a sudden. Oh God, hold on. I'm pulling it together. Okay. I'm gonna try to remember all the comedians we saw. We saw Derek Poston, I don't know how he says his name. I actually saw that guy just hanging out at the other comedy club when we saw Are You Garbage. I knew he was somebody, but I was like, I know who that guy is. He walked by me, but anyway. And we saw Brian Simpson. By the way, everybody was hilarious. That's why I'm not like talking about each one. Every single comedian killed it. After Brian Simpson, he said we had a special guest, and I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, Howie Mandel is here. And I was kind of shocked to see Howie Mandel there. He had just gotten done doing the podcast with Joe Rogan, I guess. And he came to check out the club and came on at our show only. Or I think it was only our show. He may have popped in at the other room, but yeah, he did 15 minutes. He was absolutely hilarious. I mean, I was stunned. I knew he was funny and all, but I don't know. You see him on America's Got Talent, which I don't really watch. Oh no. I'm dead. I'll get it on the next one. I don't really watch America's Got Talent, but it's like, how funny can you really be when you're on network TV, especially nowadays? They're not going to let you take any comedic chances and offend anybody, of course. And so, yeah, he was very excited about the fact that when you go to the Comedy Mothership, they lock your phone up in a bag. And I couldn't even have my Apple Watch. They're like, you got to put the watch in a bag too, because they don't want people recording the comedians, putting on the internet, getting them canceled. And in the case of Howie, he was like, I can say whatever I want. He was so excited. He was saying crazy, like a lot of just cussing, essentially. Not like, he wasn't like up there, you know, shooting the N-word out right and left or anything. He didn't say anything like that. I'm screwing up. But, you know, he was just being able to cuss and make jokes and things he couldn't do. He's like, if I said this normally, I'd lose my job at America's Got Talent. So it was cool to see. I think the worst he said, I think he broke out the C word a few times. I was like, wow, Howie Mandel's really having fun. But he was hilarious. Really good show. Then after him, he brought up Tony Hinchcliffe, which I've been watching the Kill Tony podcast lately, like binging it, because I've heard of it. And I'd never actually seen it. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out one day. And I really like that. I don't know, it's like addicting almost to be like, oh, let's see if this next amateur comedian is going to come up and be funny or if he's going to be terrible. But either way, it's still funny because Tony's hilarious and he's able to make it entertaining. So I was really happy to see him. He absolutely killed it. I don't know. I wasn't really surprised, but I was like, man, he was really excellent. The guy is really funny. And then Joe Rogan came up, and I didn't know if he was going to do a full set. I thought he was just maybe going to do 15 minutes, but he ended up doing like a full set and was up there for probably 45 minutes or so. So that was cool to actually see that. The club is small, or you know, it's a comedy club. It's not a stadium where you'd normally see somebody like him nowadays. And it was just cool to see in a smaller room like that. We were probably only 40 feet from the stage, and we were elevated, so we had a really good view, and it was a good show. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to get caught up in the political stuff, the whole Joe Rogan stuff. I don't care about any of that. I don't want to be on one side or the other. Personally, I'm so sick of hearing anything politics, and the fact that everything has to be politicized. I'm just tired of it. So, like, you know, when I tell people I saw Joe Rogan live, they're like, oh, you're one of those guys. Like, a guy who likes to laugh, that's all I was, you know? So, incredibly frustrating that I'm afraid to even say that I saw that. It's like, you know, you guys want to fight out politics, you do that all day. I don't care at all. I'll see any comedian if they're funny, you know? So, anyway. But yeah, I have had that urge to be like, should I say who I saw? But yeah, I saw Joe Rogan. Doesn't make me an anti-vaxxer, an anti-this, a liberal, a Democrat, or a Republican. It's just, I like to laugh. So there you go. You can read into whatever you want to. But yeah, it was a great show. The only thing I didn't like is they have, I'm on the wrong screen. They have a 2-drink minimum, and I don't really drink alcohol. If I do, I don't drink in public, where it costs a ridiculous amount of money. Maybe I'm cheap. But I started thinking about it, I was like, okay, the tickets were $40 a piece. They only had minimal fees on them because it wasn't Ticketmaster. I could rant for hours on how much I hate Ticketmaster. I jokingly call them Ticket Mobster because they kind of hold everybody ransom. Like, hey, it's a great show you might want to see here, but it'd be a shame if you missed it. So here, pay us a ridiculous amount. I can't believe I screwed that up. Anyway, they don't use that, so the fees were like $8 total for both tickets. So we paid to park nearby, which Austin's kind of a mess. I mean, I'll admit that. A lot of homeless, a lot of weird people roaming the streets, and I don't feel great about leaving my car down there, but it is what it is. And we found a spot that was like $10 to park or whatever. So with the parking, the fees for both, or the tickets and the fees, and the 2-drink minimum that we both, had on us, I think we still only paid $140-something for the entire show. Which, when you think about it, if you were to see somebody like Joe Rogan nowadays in stadiums, which is I think pretty much all he does, you would have paid that minimum per ticket in most cases. So I don't feel too bad about it. I think the value was worth it. It was a more intimate show. You got to see a bunch of comedians, not just Joe, Oh, God. I am really screwing this up. Sorry, guys. Maybe because I'm talking too much. And it was just generally a good time. They have good rules there about no heckling. You'll be thrown out. No cell phones. Nobody holding their phone up. It was just sit down, hear what they have to say, laugh or don't, whatever. And if you don't like it, then it's not for you, I guess. I can tell you this. The chicks in front of us really liked it. They were probably a little too drunk. They were there with their boyfriends, but they were clearly there because they were some big Joe Rogan fans. They were kind of obnoxiously oohing and awing when he came on stage. It was like watching two girls watch the Backstreet Boys in the 90s. They were just touching all over each other and jumping up and down or in their seat. And I'm like, take it easy, you're distracting me. It's just Joe Rogan. The guy's like 50-something years old, and they were acting like, these were young girls. So who knows why they were there. I guess they were just big Joe Rogan fans. But yeah, good time. Sorry to bore you guys if you don't care about that, but I gotta fill the time with something, right? Let's talk about this game, though. This game is so fun, so involved. The fact that you could play it as a noob or someone who doesn't really, just wants to race and just pick the easy car and pick this stage is not good. This track is not good for noobs. But like someone like my wife, Lady Cag, can sit down. Uh-oh. I can't come out of that. I'm not this bad normally, but I guess because I'm distracted. She could sit down, and she's done it on live streams and played, and she's like, oh, this is fun. And she just picks the easiest car, the beginner car, which handles pretty easily. I think it handles more like just a general racing game. Or as you get better, you can then pick cars like this car, the extreme difficulty car, and you can have almost simulated racing physics at that point. So it's really nice that this game had a little bit of everything, and it has a lot of room for growth and replayability, in my opinion. Man, I suck. Good God. And it's one of those games that I think people do love, but I think people do forget about also. So it's cool that I have one of these. I always loved it when I'd go to the arcade as a kid. I remember when it first came out, when it was just the regular San Francisco Rush. I played it a lot. It was 3 tokens to play at my local arcade, but I still gladly spent it, and it was so much fun. When I found this one for sale, I was like, it was only, I don't know, I think I paid $400 for this one. It didn't have a working monitor at the time, but I was able to get it working with my buddy Wicked Arcade, helped me out on that. And yeah, I was thrilled to get it running. I thought, like, hey, worst case, I'll put an LCD in it, which I don't like doing to any arcade, but it was an option. But luckily, Wicked Arcade fixed me up, and I've been enjoying it ever since. It's definitely had some issues. Not really the game's fault, just faulty parts that we replaced. Like, we replaced the flyback with a bad batch of flybacks, unfortunately, and it blew up on me again. I was like, man, what the heck? But it just turned out to be a bad batch of flybacks. It's really no one's fault other than whoever manufactured it. Love the game, though. I struggle. I used to probably would have told you Hydro Thunder, which is sitting behind the camera that's looking at me, was probably my favorite racing game. But now I'm starting to think this one's got a little bit more to it, like a little bit more replay value, and I really enjoy that about it. Especially when I started using the manual transmission and the shifting and the clutch. I don't know if the clutch even does much on here, but I use it to be a douche, I guess, and it's really fun. I'm sure my wife would eye roll if she saw me using the clutch. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's a weird landing. Oh, now I'm flying wacky, too. I'm dead again. I swear I can normally get through this without even blowing up, but it's, I guess, much like real driving, you don't want to be distracted. Yes, thank you for the boost, fella. Oh, I thought I was going to clip that building. I like to stay in a lower gear right here because you got to be slower going down this hill. If this guy would get off my butt. This track is, I think, the hardest in the entire game, but man, it's a fun challenge, really. Come on. There we go. Coming in hot with 4th place. All right. I'm going to do, I don't know, I can't even, I just realized I have my new streaming setup in here, but I can see the monitor. It's way the heck over there, probably 16 feet away, and I can't actually see how long we've been going. So I'm going to do one more track, and I'm pretty sure that'll be a good enough amount of recording time. Good enough to maybe distract you. The Rock is probably one of also my favorite tracks. So fun. Such a fun track. Difficult, a little difficult, but not too hard. I'm going to go manual on this one, too. I think that's pretty much all I do nowadays. Manual racing. The music is great on this game, but I find it distracting because I like to hear the engine noise to know when to shift and whatnot. Oh, coin door opened up and hit me right in the shin. That was very nice. I need to put new locks on this cabinet. I don't think it came with any, or if it did, the keys are missing. So I have new locks. It's just one of those things I haven't done. And it has a stupid brake, I don't know what they call that thing, an anti-break-in bar where you can't pry the coin door open, but it's a giant hunk of metal that is, I think, now part of the actual coin box, so I can't get it off of there. But I've hit my shins on it many a time, and every time I'm mad about it. Come on. Ooh, all right. I feel the steering's getting a little weak. I still have that issue, which I haven't even tried to fix yet, really, other than fixing the ventilation back there. The steering board, something on it overheats and it causes this feedback to go out suddenly. But it comes right back. It's just frustrating. I think now that I know how to solder, I think I do need to pull that steering board out of here and change out those 2 chips that get extremely hot, like 140 degrees when I checked it. I think even 145 is what I saw when I checked it one time. If anybody's like a super fan of this game, which I'm a big fan, but I don't know a lot of the stuff behind it, what is the announcer saying right there when I did the loop? He like screams something like, I don't know, something, I can't do it, or whatever he says. If you happen to know, I'd love to know what he's saying. Because even Lady Kag heard it when she was playing. Was like, what did he say? I was like, no clue. He says something, I can't believe it, or I can't do it. I don't know. Oh boy. Steering's still holding strong though. That's why I do the cheat, by the way, to lower the steering intensity, which is actually a setting in the game's menu system, and I've turned it to always default to light feedback because it makes it run longer without overheating. But I think there's a glitch where it only does it the first race, and then after that it goes back to medium no matter what you do. There's a couple settings I think on this cabinet that don't always 100% save, because it's odd because other ones do actually save, so I can't quite figure out if it's just a game glitch or if there's something else going on. I can't remember the other settings off the top of my head. Let me hear if he says that again. Of course he didn't say it that time when I go through there. I'm gonna go this way this time. Flying through here. I might actually get close to first place. Can I? Oh, I'm in first. This game's so hard to get first place on unless it's the first track. I think I'm gonna nail it. The leader light is on and I got it. All right. Pretty proud of myself right there. I don't think I broke any records of my records because I'm like the only one who plays this thing. Let's see. No record breaking, no what's your name this time. And that was my 13th best time. I was 3 seconds, a little over 3 seconds behind my best time. You know what, guys? I'm doing one more. I was just about to end it. I was like, screw it. This feels like it hasn't gone on quite as long as I usually do. Let's take a big chance on, let's just do this track. This is a good track. Track 2 or track 5, whatever he says. Here we go. If you guys want to see the other 2 at a later time, just let me know in the comments, and I'll do this game again. I am going to try to start doing different games for Gameplay Monday, though, because I'm kind of out of new games to play on Gameplay Monday. Oh, crap. Oh, of course. Of course. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Really ruined the whole run. Keep yourself together. Gee. Well, 8th place it is. That really sucked. I am going to do some secrets that I hope I can pull off without killing myself. Here we go. Downshift a little so I don't come in too hot. Still coming in a little hot. Try to nail that second tier. Oh boy, got it. Let's get the shifting done. There we go. So glad the shifter works on this. I didn't have to fix it or anything, it just worked. I've run into a couple of these cabinets where they don't always work, but you know, this one was pretty good. This one, I guess this cabinet was probably in the worst shape of all of them, the ones I bought. This one had a dead mouse behind the dash. It was a pokey skeleton. If you saw the repair video, I think I talk about it there. I can't remember if I show it, but I remember reaching into a hole in the dash and being like, I know what that is. That's a pokey skeleton of a critter. And it sure was. And this cabinet just has a musk. It gives off a certain smell that is not exactly pleasurable, especially when it heats up, like it's warming up in here now with all the games that have been on for over an hour or so, and they start to heat up, and this cabinet specifically heats up and the fan starts blowing that stink around, and it's like, that's rough. It smells kind of like almost like it was in a dirty house, which is kind of scary because it makes me wonder what else was in that cabinet. I'm not saying the guy I bought it from was dirty. He seemed pretty clean. He had a nice warehouse. And this is the cabinet that was lifted onto my trailer by a crane because the guy I bought it from had it at his business and he had a crane inside the building. And I was like, how are we going to get this up there? He's like, no problem. He just grabbed his crane and literally lifted the building, or the cabinet right onto the trailer. It was the greatest arcade pickup I've ever done, that's for sure. Easiest by far. Getting it off the trailer wasn't as much fun. Lady Cag was not very happy with me. A lot of my cabinets break into two parts, or the racing cabinets I have do. This one does not. You have to cut it in half, and I wasn't willing to do that. What in the heck? All right, let's just get moving. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Thank you for the boost, sir. Probably going to kill me down the line, though. I'm in 5th place. I was able to recover somewhat. I don't think I'm going to nail this, unfortunately. Oh, that's right. It's just the low one. All right, so we're good. Come on. I think we're near the end. Oh, boy. I know there's a secret to the right there. I just don't do it. It just doesn't seem to be very good. Here we go. All right, guys. I hope this distracted you from your Monday, or at least, you know, entertained you a little bit. If it did, please give the video a thumbs up. Didn't get to put my name in on that one either. Let me see where I am. Hold on. 19th place. Wow, I've played this game a lot. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more arcade content, and leave me a comment. Let me know how your Monday went, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.